Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Racing Unleashed, where we're here for round 3 of the iRacing Championship. I'm your host, Matthew Duffin, back in the box after a brief holiday up north in Scotland. It was a very nice weekend away, but it is very nice and even nicer to be back in this commentary box and in this fantastic studio here down at Apex Racing TV. What an action-packed day we have in store for you. The fantastic Hockenheimring circuit for this week's adventure on this platform and in this championship. Round 3 of the season, as we said, of Pro and Pro-Am, where drivers now who maybe have missed the first 2 races will be able to get their drop scores out the way, or their drop rounds out the way, and start their championship here today, as we may see new faces, familiar faces, along this afternoon's or this evening's journey in this fantastic race. But first of all, we can bring you, as always, a little hardware video from James Walker.
Is awesome. First of all, starting off with the tub, the chassis itself. This is actually handcrafted in Italy, and it's designed to simulate effectively what it's like to be in a single-seater environment. Now, when you lower yourself inside here, you are sitting in a real carbon seat, which is very tricky indeed. Now, what self-respecting single-seater wouldn't have a removable steering wheel? This also carbon effect, real carbon shifters here, and there is a plethora of tech for you to learn as you go down the Racing Unleashed journey. Now, down there's a really trick pedal box. Once again, this is designed to simulate what a brake servo is like on a single-seater with high downforce, really stiff, really reassuring, and you can actually adjust the pedal box itself to get your optimum feel. Now then, racing harnesses. This for me is my favorite feature. There is a retention system inside the shell itself which simulates G-force under heavy braking, and it can actually replicate up to 5 Gs of deceleration. It's super immersive, and when you try it for the first time, you can't believe how much it adds to the overall immersion of driving a single-seater. And then to tie it all together, down here at the back, we've got the hydraulic actuators, and this simulates the lumps and bumps, going over curbs, undulations, and just general movement of the car. All in all, it's one of the best simulator experiences you're going to find anywhere.
And thank you for that update there, James. Now, what we can tell you is that Racing Unleashed, the new simulators, are actually being installed as we speak. They are fitted in the Zurich Lounge, being fitted in Madrid, and are being fitted in that of Munich towards the end of September, middle of September. So the brand new simulators being installed. Hopefully we can bring you a new hardware video on what the updates are on them fantastic new simulators as they roll into the next season, of the Assetto Corsa platform, which starts now at the end of October. Bit of a delayed start due to the simulators not being installed in Munich in time, giving Munich a bit of an unfair advantage of not having the testing time or the chance of racing that first race with the others on the new updated software. So October will be the start date for that one, which is going to be a fantastic season in store. It will be absolutely cracking to see what they have to bring in these new fantastic pieces of equipment, and some new features coming as well. We're not going to dive too much into that. We are going to wait for more confirmed details to be announced on our social media platforms, but bits that you can see behind the scenes make this season look fantastic and very, very interesting. Going to be well worth the watch to see the in-house championship when we get to it. As we move back to this iRacing series, though, it is round 3 of the season. We're at the Hockenheimring, and the calendar for the rest of this year, after Nürburgring and a fantastic Road America, we go to Daytona Road Course in 2 weeks' time. In a month, we're at Monza, then we go to Spa for round 6, Road Atlanta for round 7, Suzuka round 8, the penultimate round at the fantastic Watkins Glen, and then the final round of the season at the even better Sebring circuit. What a calendar we've got in store for you, but we're back in Germany after having a race break from the German circuits of Nürburgring. We headed to Road Atlanta, back here though for the Hockenheimring, in which should be a fantastic race here. We saw back earlier in this year, we saw the Porsche Cup cars do the first event on the iRacing platform at the Hockenheimring, which brought fantastic racing throughout the entire day, and it really was an interesting one to watch, both Challenger and Racer League on that event. Really good effort from all drivers and really good racing, so I'm hoping for more of the same today in these GT3 cars. We can take a look at the previous race results as well from that Road America race. I believe we're going to bring them on screen now as qualifying does get underway. It was Gabriel I've just said that name in my head, and I've now blanked it. Gabriel won the race. He got P1. Lewis Woods was P2 with Lucas Prada in that third place. The WSR esports team really had a great day that day out. I believe that was in the pro category for that one. So it was a real good race for them. The AM results also went this way. Eno Verhavenen took the win. Francisco Lopez was P2 with Ronaldo Carlos in P3. Now, I said earlier in the build-up that drivers get 2 drop rounds in this series. That will basically take place on their 2 lowest rounds, I do believe, of this championship. So if drivers have missed this first 2 rounds of the season, this is their first event of the season, that doesn't matter because that drop round will be in place already. Great race results. The pro prize money, though, in store, and the AM prize money for this season looks like this, and this is what the drivers come in at the end of the season. €875 could be in one lucky driver's back pocket if they win the Pro Series. That goes down to 125 for a top 5 finish on a free-to-enter championship. Prize money not to be sniffed at, €500 there for the AM winners, all the way down to 100 for that 5th place. So that is absolutely, you know, it's worth being involved in on a free championship here at iRacing, free to enter. And why not get yourself involved? Why not try and take home some, excuse me, some prize money at the end of that season? The championship standings, though, after 2 rounds, make for very, very interesting reading. And it has been a case of 2 very different circuits, and we come to another circuit which is, again, in its own rights, very unique and very different from the 2 we've already been to, which makes the championship standings look a little interesting. As you can see, look, Gabriel there leads the way, 131 points, 1 point clear of Lewis Woods. Lucas, though, in P3. He's a little further back on 113. Stephen Ash is on 100, and Nicholas Laubish is on 96 in the pro standings. Very tight at the top, but like we said, them drop rounds that come into play will take effect on these championship standings as we go through this season. The AM standings as well make for interesting reading, as it is Eno who leads the way, 25 points clear of Ronaldo in that 2nd place. Aleski Partanen is on 98 with P4 Alvaro on 97 and Francisco Lopez on 95, making them 3 points separating them. Very, very tight for them top 5 places in that AM category. It's all to play for. There's 10 rounds, 8 races left to go. We've only done 2, so there's plenty more races in store left to go throughout this championship this season. The format then of today's action and of the whole championship action that is coming up, there's a 100-minute practice, which the drivers have just ended. It is a 22-minute qualifying. It is 10 minutes per class, and I believe it is the AMs that are out first. I could be wrong. No, it is the pros who are out first, apologies. They get 10 minutes, then the AMs get 10 minutes, so they get the separate qualifying so that they can qualify with class, and then it is a 1-hour race with mandatory pit stop. That is the most important thing to note, the mandatory pit stop. They haven't got to change tyres, all they've got to do is just pit, add a bit of fuel, because I believe the fuel tank isn't set to 100% capacity, it's set to a little short, so we should see pit stops around the halfway mark of the race in this one. And like we said, Hockenheimring, what a legendary circuit. We've not seen it much on the F1 calendar and on other calendars in recent years, but we can bring you a full track guide to this fantastic circuit, and it's very unique and very different. You come through turn 1 almost like a cop's corner, a little bit tighter as you come through, and you've got plenty of runoff on that outside line. Be careful of the off tracks. You can run that curb as you want to come down and make as good a run in towards turn 2 as possible. Turn 2 leads you into a set of corners that you can get a good launch out of 2 through 3 and 4. All about the slipstream. Getting that slipstream down towards the hairpin is the most vital point, because out of 2 through 3 and 4 is where you're going to see then probably your best opportunity at an overtake in this race. You come all the way down towards turn 5, which is the kink. Nothing really that the drivers are going to notice apart from that slipstream. Turn 6, the hairpin, the dreaded hairpin. Will we see some send-its? Will we see some pile-ups? That's going to be the biggest question. Hopefully not. Hopefully more of the overtaking than the incidents. Into turn 7, you flick the car right, flat out through turn 7. And then it's a short little run out of 7 in towards 8 for that braking zone. As I have lost the pictures. Here we go, got them back now. Into 8, tightens up as you come then into 9, little left-hand kink into then the right-hander of turn 10, before again a short run down towards the straight of the entry into turn 11. Bit of a lift through this one. Again, try and use that runoff, not too much because you're going to drop a wheel into the gravel. Now you come into the stadium section of this circuit. Sebastian Vettel famously years ago crashed off here when leading the German Grand Prix. Through turn 12, this is where the track really changes. Through turn 12 into 13 and 14. Bit of a flowing part of this section. You come out of 12, left and right again. Again, as you're dropping away off this circuit, it's downhill slightly, brake hard into 50, or brake as hard as you can into 15, short run into 16, and it's that run out of 16 that the drivers are going to be looking for down that start straight in towards turn 1. And that is where your lap is probably won and lost, mainly through that stadium section. That can be where you can find a lot of time, lose a lot of time. It's going to be an interesting part of this race for definite to find out who will do what in this race. It's going to be fantastic to see. Qualifying is underway, like we said, and we are 6 minutes into the pro qualification, in which has been a fantastic lap so far. Here are some beautiful pictures of the Hockenheimring circuit. And it really is one of motorsport's finest tracks out across the world. And what brings us fantastic racing, like we said, really is going to be good to watch. Francisco Lopez, currently the quickest man on circuit. It is a Lamborghini 1-2, as Eno Verhoeven is currently P2. Aleski Partanen, P3. Nathan Alulo is in P4. In the Mercedes, Aleski in the Ferrari as well. The Corvette on the grid today. Leonardo Dragotta is down in P14 in that Corvette. Then a few Porsches as well bringing up the rear. The AM field, you know, mainly Ferraris. We see a lot of Porsches in the pro field, but you have got a Corvette and a Ford Mustang in that grid. The interesting car choice I'm not seeing out there is no BMW M4s. Now, still learning iRacing. We're getting there each time we come to the studio, but I know based off the Assetto Corsa Competizione platform, the BMW M4, pretty strong car, so I'd be surprised if it's not a strong choice on this. Very surprised to not see an M4 out there, especially on this kind of circuit. Here is Miguel Beltran then, currently on the track, just looking across to the chat. Good evening to Micro J's and to Fiore's granddad, as we also say very good evening to Nikolai Agard in the chat. Hope you're enjoyable circuit, says Micro J's, and good luck to all the drivers indeed. So very good circuit to be a part of as they come through into the stadium section here. Here is Magnus, currently P6, racing for Chapter X in the Porsche. And what can Magnus do then? Currently sat 0.4 of a second off the pole at the moment. Can he up his pace that little bit and find a few tenths of a second to maybe putting himself on the front row of the grid, or a little bit closer to it, as Lopez and Verhoeven have set identical times. Lopez did it first, and for Magnus there, he does not improve. Andrew Fairley in the chat, kind of wish I was racing, but got lazy, didn't do any laps. Andrew, you've got to do the laps to be racing in this series. How many people are in the race? There is 25 pros, and I'll just scroll down in front of my screen. In fact, no, there are a few more than that. That haven't set, oh sorry, these are the AMs that haven't set the lap time. There's about, I think what I'm going to say, there's about 57, 58 cars out there on the circuit altogether. So this is the AM category, apologies, at the moment. As Magnus braking hard into that hairpin corner, picks up his apex, now gets on the power. You just hear him patient as he came out the corner. Didn't want to light the rears up. Flat out through the right hand, and now gets it across the right hand side of the circuit on the brakes. Got to find your apex here. Bounces off the sausage curb, keeps it in the middle of the road, picks up the apex to the left hand, and now to the right. And again, this is the part of the section coming into the stadium where it gets a little tighter. You have a little lift through here. Bit of a bigger lift than I was expecting there, but using the runoff to his advantage. Now flicks it left through the stadium, first part of the stadium section, left and right. Again, try and take as much of that inside curb as you can through the left-hander. Keeps it through the middle of the road. First part of the right-hander over the sausage curb. Second Rennsport, final corner, use that runoff, try and not drop a wheel in the gravel as drivers coming to the line. Doesn't look like Francisco Lopez is going to be beaten here. And for Magnus there, he does not improve on his lap time, but drivers are able to finish their laps. And here is Aleski Partanen, who is P5 at the moment, 3/10 off of that pole. Just looking at his sector times, no green sector times here, so he's not improving at the moment, but he may have lost time through this final part of the lap. Is he going to improve as he comes to the line? No, stays down in P5. There's a few drivers still out there on the track, a few returning to the pit lane. Here is Mirko Fincato then. And I believe as well, the way for you guys at home to tell who is an AM and who is a pro driver, the AMs have the darker banner and wing mirrors on the windscreen of their car. You see at the very top there, the Racing Unleashed banner. The dark blue is for an AM driver. And David Worthrich here on a lap when he probably shouldn't be. So that might be facing a penalty at the end of this one, down in 31st place at the moment. And for the pro drivers, they have the light blue banner and wing mirror at the top of their screens. Here is Leonardo Dragotta then, currently in 14th place. The young man, wow, he looks incredibly young. Sporting a Manchester City shirt there, I'm noticing. In the Corvette, the American crosses the line, stays P14. That is his qualifying done. Good on the youngster for being on the grid. That is absolutely fantastic to see. But there you see Alessandro with that blue banner, the blue wing mirrors, matches his livery. Torchio is the surname. Thank you to my producer in my ear. So that is how you identify the cars, especially in the race when all of the drivers are on the grid together. The dark blue banner and wing mirrors is for AM, the light blue is for pro, as the pro drivers are coming through the final couple of corners to start their first flying lap of the race, of the qualifying, should I say. And this is going to be an interesting one. 10 minutes for these drivers to try their best at getting that pole position. And the interesting thing about the mixed grid of an AM and pro is, if some of the pros we saw back at Nürburgring, I'm sure that Sam saw at Road America as well, if the pros don't out-qualify a few of the AMs, that makes the racing a little bit interesting going into what is a fascinating part of the race, because we saw a few incidents at Nürburgring where pro drivers just seemed a little impatient to get through on the AMs. That Ferrari down into first gear, picking up the hairpin and getting back on the power as soon as he can. Flat out through the right-hander, hard on the brakes for the left. Again, you just got to pick up apex. Try not to hit that sausage curb as much as you can, because the more you hit it, the more it's going to bounce the car, unsettle the car, and you're really just going to cost yourself a little bit of time. Into the stadium he comes. Again, you just hear him very tentative on the throttle to get this underway. As Juan Pablo Sanchez already moves up the order. Alex goes P1, Prada's into P2. As Pierre Herbizou into the third place in class, but his 5th place overall. So this is the class qualifying at the moment, I do believe. We aren't seeing... Oh no, they're updating on my screen now, on my time screen now. So Pierre does go up into P4 overall as well, ahead of Lopez. You're just seeing a few of the pros already putting lap times in that mix them in. There is Eric Rosseth in that Ford Mustang. I'm a fan of the Ford. I think it's a brilliant car. Great addition to iRacing and other platforms that have been able to get the Ford Mustang GT3 car. New this year, obviously, so really is interesting to see how many people are going to try and tackle it and handle it, but also the Corvette's new, especially on the iRacing platform. That is an interesting car to see out there on the circuit. I don't think there was any Corvettes out there when I did the Nürburgring a month ago. So it's going to be interesting to see how that handles. At the moment, Gustavo Mendez goes up on the leaderboard as well. So far, so good. Just looking at Pierre's lap time there, then a 1:38.101. Still saying he's behind. There we go. Updates once again. Puts him up to P5. Carry Kortelainen as well goes into P6 in class at the moment. This is Gabriel, the championship leader, going into this race in his Ferrari. And he's going to look to extend that championship once again by getting another race win to his name, or another podium he'd love to take, I'm sure. As Ericsson now moves up into P6, Kim Ericsson separated by 0.2 of a second to the pole here in this pro category. Gabriel goes up into P4 then. Only 0.07 of a second off the back of pole, so he's just returned to the pits. He'll probably come back out on track. Nicholas Laubish here then, through the final corner, just close to putting a wheel onto the curb, crosses that line now. And Laubish not seeing a time pop up on the screen yet. It's probably an outlap from him. As Andrew saying that the Corvette is not quick. Sebastian Hirsch. Racing Unleashed, familiar face, obviously from the Pro Series, from the Racer League Series on Assetto Corsa. Sure he'll be making his return in that Racer League Series come October. Great to see him on the iRacing platform. Very dark in the room. You can just make out his face there. Very, very committed guy. Great to see him back in the go-karts as well. I've seen on his Instagram story after that crash he had 2 years ago. It's great to see him back in the go-karts and working hard on his real racing as well. As he comes through into that middle sector now, does Sebastian Hirsch. Into the stadium. Oh, yeah, he is into the stadium, so apologies, he wasn't in the middle sector. Ultimate corner, final corner he comes now. What's his sector times looking like? Not too bad at the moment. Where's this going to put him on the grid though? As he comes towards the line now. P20 at the moment. Does he improve on his time? He does, and moves all the way up into P... Lost him on the screen. P18, that is in class as well, so a little off the pace at the moment. He's going to have to try and pick up some there. Here is your current pole sitter though, in the Lamborghini. Interesting to see as well, the AM's chosen to go more down the Porsche route, the pros chosen to go more down the Ferrari route in terms of how many there are on the grids. It just shows the difference in you know, in what the pros who have the bigger I rating, 4,500 or more on their I rating, so a bit more experienced on the iRacing platform, and a chance for them to really, you know, tackle that Ferrari, whereas the drivers with the lesser I rating may prefer that Porsche, a bit easier maybe to handle and to control. So here he comes at the moment. This is the Lamborghini that is setting the pace. It's 0.5 tenth though. It's only 0.4 of a second ahead here. So it's not a big margin at all for him, and he could just do with finding a tenth or two just to put a bit more daylight on that timing screen to Prado in second place. Remember, one of the rules here at Racing, at least for the iRacing rating, if you are to get that podium, you know, you need to have that webcam connected so that our broadcasters in the background here at the studio can make sure that they can see that it is you on the simulator, and have that platform, webcam connected to score the points at the end of this race. Alex now comes out the final corner, and is he going to improve on his lap time? Comes towards the line. It was a green sector 3, and he does just by a couple of hundredths himself, in fact by 11,000ths of a second, get a bit of daylight. It's not going to matter. Gabriel goes pole. Lucas Prada now takes pole. So it is not going to matter at all. He needed a bit more time, as Stephen Ash is going to bring that into the pits there. That was a late call to come into the pit lane, as his time might be done. Here comes Pierre, P6 at the moment, down towards the start line. Can he find any more time in this race, in this qualifying? Stays P6 for the time being. And an interesting jumbled up grid here. We've got some of the pros being out-qualified by some of the AMs as well. So this is going to make for an interesting qualifying, an interesting start to this race. Here is Ika. It's great to see as well. I love to see the cameras. I love to see the different drivers' setups and what they've got at home, what they're running. You know, Sebastian Hirsch, lights off, in the dark, fully concentrated. Mika here, lights on. Curtain shut so the sun's not coming through the window. Finnish driver currently P10 in class, P12 overall out there. Just needs a little bit of time to bump him up the order a little bit. And he finds a bit of time, but it keeps him down in that 10th place in class, 12th place on the grid. Miguel Alonso now then coming towards the line. Can he find any time? 14th in class at the moment. Needs a bit more to move himself up the order, especially in front of some of the AM drivers. And he doesn't find enough to move him out of that P14 spot. Here is Kim Eriksson. P8 overall at the moment, 3/10 off the pole. Sinander Murbas has just moved into 16th place. Very tight field, very, very tight field. There's 22, 23 cars are separated by just over a second here as Kim Eriksson stays P8. Here is Kortelainen then. Currently P9 overall. P9 in class. Remember the AMs score points for their category. As do the pros for there. So coming into the stadium section, Kari Kortelainen here then on his final lap. What's he need? He just needs a couple of hundredths here, moving up to P8. 10th and a half could put him up into P5. So this being a good lap for Kortelainen could be an opportunity to move up that grid order a good amount here. He comes to the line now as qualifying ends, and he stays in that P9 position. So that is your qualifying over. And if the two pole sitters, fantastic for them. Nicholas Laubish was the one who took pole at the end, according to my timing screens here. There he is, Nicholas Laubish from Lucas Prada, P2. Row 2 is Gabriel and Alex. Stephen Ash from Pierre. Row 3. Row 4 is Gustavo Mendes from Kim Eriksson. Kari Kortelainen P9 with Francisco Lopez, your pole sitter in the AM category. Eno from Mika rounding out 11th and 12th. 13th place, Eric Rosseth from Samir Arshad in P14. Ronaldo Carlos, 50th place from Aleski Parton in P16. Nathan Alol in P17 with Alessandro in P18. Alvaro is 19th place with Juan Carlos in 20th place. Miguel Alonso is 21st from Juan Pablo Sanchez. That is then Magnus in P23 with Sinander Murbas rounding out 24th place. 25th for Marcus Valverde. Jan Duffner P26. V. Hakalel is P27. Hendrik Zilke is P28. Sebastian Hirsch 29th. Borges Arzo 30th. Casper Tunstedt in 31st with Matteo Carbonari in 32nd. Igor Piaz in 33rd, Miguel Beltran 34th, Leonardo Dragotta P35 with Antonio in P36, David Barker from Petri with Jan Sorini, Martin Kovacs, Adrian from George Camilo 42nd, Mirko Fincotta in 43rd. There you see Neil Bamber 45th, Matthias in 46th, Louis Hesketh in P47. And down the back end of the grid, a couple of drivers didn't set a lap time as, oh, just a bit of a moment there as we come into the stadium section. Louis Hesketh, P47, Jan, P48, Ivor Rodrigo, 49th, Alejandro is at P50. You see the drivers down the bottom end of the grid didn't set lap times. Now just look on the timing screens. Has everybody got to this start line? No. Justin Claessens is missing from the start line in this race then, so he was not able to get on the grid at the start. As we get ready to go here in this race, we come into the final couple of corners, and for the first time today, and for the only time today I suppose, there's not a second chance for a race win here. It's going to be an interesting one to see if we can get this underway. As we are about to go green, they all come through the final corner. It is green and go here at the Hockenheimring for round 3 of this season. Everybody gets very bunched up in that midfield, coming down the start straight in towards turn 1. It's already a great start for the leader, and absolute chaos at turn 1 has happened already. The inevitable has happened. There's at least 3 or 4 drivers off there and into the wall. Not sure. That is huge damage for the Ferrari there. Bodywork absolutely everywhere, but the leader's got through squeaky clean, and it is, well, we'll wait for the timing screen to come on the screen. It is Laubish who still leads the way as my timing screens are updating. He's got a decent start, but this is where the slipstream of the car behind can really come into effect. Carnage at turn 1. P2 has a look now on Laubish. Tucks back in, though. Doesn't do anything of that at the moment. And back in that midfield, we've seen Carnage already. I believe that's Borges Ozu who's going up the inside, just behind that of Juan Pablo Sanchez. It all looks squeaky clean through that hairpin corner. Driver's a bit more patient through there. No, Carnage in the background again. I say Carnage, a couple of cars around and a few lag spikes for drivers there. You've just seen the cars just disappear on screen momentarily. And that then is not what you'd want to see if you are... Oh, sorry, that is on our end. This is a technical issue we are having on our end, which hopefully we can get sorted. And it looks like we have now. Looks like the cars are a bit more stable. So that wasn't on the driver's end. So the drivers could have still made contact with each other, but there was 2 lots of chaos there. Turn 1, and then through the hairpin, a few cars came together. But that turn 1 incident was absolutely catastrophic because the drivers now come to the start line. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars in the pit lane. Justin Claessens did get out on the track after the race start, but there is 5 cars in the pit lane. 1 car has gone red on my screen, so I'm not sure if he has left the lobby or what. In fact, let's add another one because there's another driver driving into the pit lane. Here is one Carlos De Silva coming down in towards turn 1, 19th in the class at the moment. And it is Laubish who still leads so far out here on this track. Here is Luca Prada then. P4 at the moment in class and overall. In that green Lamborghini. Here is Igor Perez then, P15 in the pro category. Coming through, drive-through penalty, driving outside of qualifying slot. That is for car 513. That is Louis Hesketh, who has got himself a drive-through penalty for qualifying when he shouldn't have been. We saw that one happen. Here's Matteo Carbonari then. There's a Ferrari span, stays stationary, thankfully. But what a chaotic start. Here is Matteo. Love the seat. Great bucket seat there for Matteo. He's got work to do. 19th place in class at the moment. A lot of drivers made it into that pit lane at the first lap. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 still in the pit lane. Horrible, horrible start to this race. Drive-through contact for car number 210. That is for contact at the start. And I assume that is who caused the chaos at turn 1. And the 210 car is who's a Carlos De Silva with that drive-through penalty. There is a BMW out there as well. So that is Nico Mossa, who didn't qualify. He is the BMW now out on circuit. For Matteo up into P17 as he comes across the start line, now up into P16. Okay, Sinan de Merbas P10, what can he do from here? He's going to be trying to use that slipstream of the Ferrari in front. This black and pink colours on that car coming into the hairpin. Sinan really closes in on the Ferrari in front. Look at this, 3 or 4 wide here. There's a slow car on the inside. No, you don't want to see that. And for Hakala there, just making contact with the car in front, carried too much speed. There's even more drama now in the background. That is Marcelo Caserta with the front bumper of his car ripped off. That is going to be causing some huge problems for him. That'll be a pit stop for him in this race. dramas here at the Hockenheimring. Not sure what else to say, really, but absolute dramas. Timezones now has fixed itself. There you can see that Nicholas Laubish has now pulled a bit of a gap away, and Verhoeven leads in that AM category. But what a chaotic start to this race. It's been absolutely action-packed already. Still 3 drivers in the pits, and I believe we're going to get Caserta in as well. Sebastian Hirsch, one of them drivers in the pits. And Justin Claessen's not saying that he's out there on the circuit, so we obviously didn't get him for the start of this race. Here's Jan Duffner then in P5 in the AM category at the moment. And your leader in AM is running P8 overall, so he's having a great race. Here's Borges Arzo, P8 in class at the moment. Again, Borges Arzo, a regular in the Challenger League on Racing Unleashed. He's right behind the Lamborghini of that of Lopez in front. That Lamborghini just looks like it's stretching its legs over the Porsche. Better straight line speed as Borges Arzo turns into the hairpin corner now. And we can have some replays of the start. And hang on to your hats, because there is a lot to get through. This is going to be interesting to see what happened here down in that midfield. It's a great start from Laubish. He just took off, was absolutely brilliant. There is the chaos in the background. Absolutely manic behind. And you just see there, look, you see the yellow Porsche just getting into the back of the car. And there's already dramas that's happened up front. You're seeing the 3 wide into turn 1. That has not worked out, and damage for all 3 of them. Look at this, the pink car just gets sandwiched as he tries. I don't know why he tries to keep the nose in the middle of the 2 cars in front of him. It was never going to work. There's an incident on its own. That's just after turn 1, coming up to turn 2. That is Carbonari, who is getting turned around just before turn 2. And look at this, squeezing is Caserta, and then that is what it is. Across the grass, you're not going to slow it down there, and that is more damage. And then an unsafe rejoin. And then Hackle hits the back of Hirsch, and it's Hirsch then who just, look, gets bumped by other drivers who are just, and you have to say, a little impatient. Drive-through penalty for the 622 car for collision at turn 2. And the 622 car, well, that is Ronaldo Carlos, who's up the top 5 in the championship as well. So it's going to hurt him, is that drive-through penalty in this championship. This is looking back on Arshad's view, currently running P2 in the AM category. He's got Partonen on the back of him, and Alul is right behind him as well. So 3 for the podium at the moment. We're only 7 minutes into the hour race, and the drama has already happened here early on in this race. And it's been an absolutely dramatic start to Hockenheim. All happening, we said, will there be contact at the hairpin? Well, there was, but it was turn 1 that was the real chaos in this race. And you have to say, you have to feel for the drivers involved as well. It's ruined their race, and they're probably going to have to pit again. They're not going to get the fuel all the way to the end, that is for sure. There is the track map, and you see that there's 1 car sat in the pits. That is David Werthrich, the Swiss driver. Could possibly be out of this race. He's been in the pits for over 4 minutes now. That could be his day done. We are seeing, though, are any of the drivers still circulating? Not quite sure. I believe they are down the order, which is good to see them carrying on. You don't know what's going to happen. Marcus Valverde here in the red Ferrari, P16 in class, making the step up into the race league. Big twitch from Valverde there, coming through the final couple of corners. Down the start, finish straight, he goes now. Demerbas is at 10th in class. He's just moved up into that spot, it looks like. Valverde very close to the back here of, that looks to be Ossa in front. Here is Camilo. P14 in that AM category. George Camilo, and the Brazilian driver. He's up 6 places from the start. Decent start for him in the Ferrari, trying to gain on the back end of the car in front. That is Bamba, who is just ahead of him. You see that BMW M4 just behind of Mossa, Nico Mossa there, with Marcus Valverde putting it under pressure. Here's David Baker then, 13th in the Pro category, coming under pressure from the car behind, and that is Magnus Bjerkeke. Porsche versus Ferrari, and yeah, Baker, sorry, should be able to come out on top in this one. But a jumbled up grid in qualifying led to mayhem on the opening couple of laps in this race. 10 minutes in, 50 to go, and absolutely chaos at the start. Valverde's got up the inside of Mossa here. Mossa's trying to go around the outside as the Swiss driver. Into the stadium section they come, as they come now into the penultimate corner, and he gets that position back. So Valverde just trying to put Mossa under a little bit more pressure here. And Luca Close is right behind. Wide, you see him bounce off, yeah, the grimace on the face there. You just see that he hit the sausage curb there. It put him a little wide, and Nico will know that that was a mistake on his part as he comes into turn 2. And this is a real crucial section where the Ferrari can use that slipstream off of the BMW in front. For Mossa here, you just see Valverde getting a little bit closer. They're not close enough by the time they break into the hairpin. Oh, gets very close. Very close to the BMW. How they've not made contact, I don't know. Great driving from Valverde to not go into the rear of Mossa there. But this is a good little battle. A train forming in the background. It's Mossa, Valverde close, and Hesketh is gaining on them as well. And you see a good gaggle of cars behind this fight. Here is Ivan Rodrigo then. Currently P18 in the AM class. He's on the back of Håkon Lindmo, just in front. But again, he's trying to stay in front of Alejandro Aiza. Who's that coming into the pits? That is Lindmo, then Håkon Lindmo is into the pit lane. That's a little early for a pit stop. Well, if he's got a team in his ear, they'll be telling him what to do. Arshad here has to go wide at the hairpin. Up the inside goes Parton, and then so that is a change for second place in the AM category. Great little drive between the two of them. And a good patient battle. And Arshad there, you just see on his camera, doesn't look fazed by that. He knows there's a lot of racing still to go here at Hockenheim. So doesn't look overly fazed by the fact he's just lost P2. He's got a good gap to Alul behind him. Little slide through the right-hander. Yeah, Samir Arshad will still be wanting to now just follow Partonen, try and stick with him. Follow his lines, maybe find out where he's weaker. Francisco Lopez then in that bright yellow Lamborghini. On the back of Sanchez, just in front, Juan Pablo Sanchez. Oh, he's got it all wrong through the stadium, right in front of Borja Zarzo. Manages to not make contact with Borja Zarzo. What reactions that was from the Spaniard, who just took to the grass. Yeah, I mean, yes, he cut the corner, but you're not really going to begrudge him that one because he had no choice. And for Juan Pablo Sanchez, loses out on a lot of places, just lost the rear all on his own. Erson here then gets up the inside of Rodrigo, takes the place away from him, so a good manoeuvre that from Alejandro Erson. Moves up another place. And it's interesting to see Camilo drops down to 15th in the AM category, but it's Laubish who's 1.4 out front. And here is Carbonari, 14th in the Pro category. Look at this little fight. Valverde still on the back of Mossa, saying that he's in front of Mossa. He is now. And look at this. Mossa's being swamped by a lot more Ferraris than just Marcus Valverde. As Valverde's coming into the hairpin, a drive-through for car 159. And who's that up the inside of the pair of them? That, I believe, is Close. who has managed to get up the inside of the BMW and of Marcus Valverde. Can he hold it there through the next right-hander? Yes, he can. Valverde can't do nothing around the outside, manages to keep just a bit of his car up the inside in towards turn 8. And this is great side-by-side racing between these two Ferraris. Now is close, kept it within reason. Yes, he has. Up the inside, now has to tuck back in Valverde. As Arshad has just dropped down to 10th place in category. So what has happened to him in this race? Vamanos Marcus in the chat. It was a great move. And Samir Arshad, he's got huge damage on the bonnet. Well, I say huge damage on the bonnet. There is no bonnet. So that is big damage for him. Hakalal is in the pits as well. But what has happened to Arshad? There is a Porsche still in the pits there, tumbling down the order. And here is Adrian Pereira. Drives awfully close to his steering wheel. Not a lot of arm movement there. That is, well, awfully close to his steering wheel. And around he goes. Patience, patience, patience. Let the cars go. And away you go now. So for Adrian, has a bit of contact, but he's back on his way now. Awfully close to the steering wheel there is Adrian. Stretch your arms out a little bit. Right, George Camillo in the red, yellow and white Ferrari, looking up the inside of the Porsche of Hesketh, in towards the hairpin, up the inside. Doesn't get a great exit. The Porsche's pretty much looks like the Porsche's missing the front end of that. He's missing the front bumper, if I'm correct. Yeah, I believe he is. Yeah, he is. And that is hurting him. You just see there, he's got lack of aero on the front through the right-hander. He's still managing to stick it up the inside, so he's racing hard. Is a Hesketh. And well, hangs on to that place. Great driving from the Porsche driver. Losing some front-end performances, Louis Hesketh there, but manages to hold on to that position. Drive-through penalty for car 144, as it looked like there was a move up the inside there, just behind Camillo. That was from Antonio Bretones. Is that Hesketh bringing it in? It is, yeah. So he's coming into the pits now, 15th place in class. Carbonari's in the pits as well from 15th in the pro class. A lot of drivers with a lot of damage today. One man who's been squeaky clean and kept out of trouble is this man, Nicholas Laubish. Really good drive, starting to open the gap up a little bit more now. And it's just patient building this. It's not overdriving the car. He's not doing anything other than just doing what he needs to do. Battle down for 8th and 9th in that AM class. Dragotta having a good fight. Here is Lucas Prado, though, second in class. Got Gabriel behind him. Erdely is what I'm going to say for Gabriel's surname. I said that before I came on air and then immediately forgot it when we went live. But yeah, interesting race. The top 5 in this pro category have all got away well. Coming up to that 20-minute mark in this race. It's been a fantastic, fantastic race. And it's been really, really well worth the watch. As here is Stephen Ash. P5 overall and in category for the pros. Driving for WSR esports butt kicker. His team name. Doing rather well is the team actually today, because in that pro category they've got a driver second, a driver third and a driver fifth. So the team will be able to have a good night. Obviously no team points in this championship. This is just the teams that they are a part of. Antonio Bretones here. P16 in the AM category, down the order a little bit. But on the back of Carbonari, just in front of him. Maybe can use that slipstream with the Porsche now. Down this long straight, I say straight, with the curve obviously, but it's flat out. Using that slipstream, set yourself up there. But he did give a cheeky flash of the lights there. We can show you a few more replays on the top of your screen. Oh, wow. Just absolutely chops the nose off at the hairpin, comes diving in. He's 4 or 5 car lengths back, and the Porsche just dives up the inside. Oh, and that's what happened to Orshad, all on his own, and how... Jan Duffner was the man who collected in there and could do nothing about it. He goes bouncing into the wall, and wow. This is Marcus Valverde then, who's had a moment all on his own after doing the hard work, and oh yeah, off it goes to the left in the wall. Bit of damage towards that Ferrari. So Marcus Valverde did well to get past Mossa, puts it in the wall himself. Loses a lot of time in this race. We're on board with Caserta at the moment. And Valverde still in the pits, Jan Duffner still in the pits. They've both been in the pits for over 4 and 5 minutes now. I don't know if they are coming back out. I'd like to say they're coming back out on track. You never know what's going to happen. Here is Alvaro looking to defend as up the inside. That is a great move from Lopez. Alvaro there just did not cover that one off enough. And Lopez up the inside. Great move. That moves him up into P4 in class. The Lamborghini just looks like it can now stretch its legs a little bit more. We hope the drivers come back out and start circulating again, but that is a long old pit time for a few of them. Big damage for a lot of drivers. Here is David Milik, P18 in the M category. In his Porsche, gaining on the back of Mossa in the BMW in front. Drive-through penalty for car 530. A lot of drive-throughs being dished out today. Race control very, very busy at the moment. Now, does that BMW have a rear bumper? I don't think he does. This is car 530. It's Alejandro Isen then. He has got himself a drive-through penalty, and he's straight in to do it. He is not messing around. In and out, get it done. 22 minutes gone in this race. Antonio Britones down the start straight towards turn 1, looking on the back of Carbonari. Just breaking now in towards turn 2. This is where he's going to be able to use his Ferrari to stretch his, the Ferrari to stretch his legs on the Porsche in front. Just maybe use that slipstream to get on the back of him and try and catch him up just a little bit. You see that Porsche's got a great exit out of the turns 2, 3 and 4. Towards the hairpin. This is Borges also. He's currently defending in P6 in class from Baker, who's 11th in the pro class. So not really your fight in these categories. And this is where drivers, I suppose, have to pick and choose who they do fight hard or not, because whether Baker gets past him or stays behind Borges also, this isn't Borges' fight at all. He's not going to want to lose too much time over Baker here. Porsche gets a decent exit out of the corners. Borges also managing to pull away a little bit, probably around a little wider than he'd have liked there. Laubish out front because he extended his gap to 3 seconds, so he's really on the money at the moment, is Nicholas Laubish. Lapping well, a good half a second, 0.3 of a second quicker than the rest of the pack, so he's lapping, you know, not miles quicker, but he's just doing his thing and controlling his pace, and that is the bonus of what Laubish can bring to the table. Very close there for the Lamborghini of Alex. There is Prada. The 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. All there. sixth, not a million miles off the back as well. He's only a couple of seconds off the back of P5, so be interesting to see if he's able to gain up. Here's Nico Mosser then, looking up the inside of one of the Porsches. Yeah, I don't think that BMW's running with a rear bumper. That's a call round. That is Antonio Breton's end. He's round after trying to chase down the car in front earlier on. He's lost the rear all on his own, and that's just as simple as getting on the power too early. And that look is Eason after his drive-through penalty, trying to come back through the pack here, squeezing that BMW on the curb. And the BMW probably losing some rear performance with that bumper missing. But Eason then gets through. He's up another place. He's up 10 places, moves up to 17th in class. So we're coming up to the halfway stage of this race. It's been a good time for Nicholas Laubish. 3.3 now the gap. And your leader for Harvinen in the AM class, he's doing pretty well as well. Well clear of Partonen in P2, so he's having a great time at the moment. He's at least 5 seconds clear. Doing really well. Here is Luca Close, P11 in the M category. And we just start to calm down a little bit now. Just check and see if Duffman and Valverde still in the pits, where they're back out on the circuit. They're still in the pits, as is Arshad. He's back in as well. So that's a shame for Arshad. It was going so well. Here is Adrian Pereda. P12 in the AM class. Ivan Rodrigo, P13, just behind him. Just in front of them, they've got Close. Perez is in the pit lane, as well as Lopez, who's up and down. And I believe away. It looks like he's been dropped. It's Close going through. Another driver on pit exit. That is Lopez, who's coming out the pit lane. It was Perez who came into the pit lane. So is this for then their mandatory pit stop? It's around about the right time for it. Beltran, P16, down 3 places at the moment, trying to hold that inside, outside line, which will be the inside for turn 3. He gets it on back up the inside. Beltran will have to wait to, in fact, he's tried to take on Carbonari. Gabriel comes into the pits. He's dropping down to P6 at the moment, now down to 7th. Now that's interesting to see him in the pits. He's gone for that undercut, clearly pulling the strategy earlier, trying to make up as much time as he can. He's probably going to come out in a good bit of traffic though, so that's not what he wants. There is Alexei Partonen. P2 in the AM class at the moment. Gabriel's pit stop is done. Out the pits he comes. 19.3 seconds he was in the pit lane for. So not a bad stop. A few other drivers coming into the pits. Hakala is in, he's one of them. Saw another name there just in the pit lane as it went off screen. Rodrigo is also in. Carbonari is in. So a few drivers now starting to make that mandatory mid-race pit stop. Stephen Ash is looking close to the back of Alex for P3 and 4 in Pro. It's Nicholas Laubish who leads the way out front. as we approach that halfway stage of the race. This is Akala. P16, he's got Perez just in front of him in 15th. That's Miguel Alonso who's had a moment. There's Borges also coming through as well. He's 9th in class, is Miguel Alonso. So Borges also gets past. Baker as well gets past in the just behind Zarzo. So not the ride that Alonso would have wanted. Oh, 4 places still. And there's still half the race to try and make them places back. Couple more drivers into the pits. This is your leader in the AM class, Eno Verhoeven. It's the Mustang going side by side with the Lamborghini. Up the inside goes the Mustang. Does it manage to get the apex? It does. Gets out the apex and powers away now. Verhoeven here in a good fight with Eric Rosseth. But Rosseth has just got past more cars into the pits. This is George Camillo. It's going to be interesting to see which drivers have had to pit twice here, because obviously the fuel is just not going to allow them. Hendrik Zilke is pitted twice. Torchio has pitted twice. Tunstad has pitted twice. So has Mika, Bahamaki, Kari Kortalainen. David Verthwich has pitted twice as well. Dufner, Valverde and Arshad all still in the pits. I think they're done. George Camillo is out the pits. The interesting one for me still was that of Gabriel. 19.3 his pit stop. Lucas Prada's in, who's around Gabriel Erdalai before the pit stops. Where is Gabriel going to feed out to this then? This, I reckon, is going to be an interesting stop. If Gabriel can get close, which he's coming down the start line now, this could make it very, very interesting. Out comes Prada. There is Gabriel in the background, but Prada's up to speed as well now. And Gabriel can get as close as he likes. It's not going to matter. Just 8,000th of a second quicker in the pits was Prada over Gabriel. That gap though pretty close at the minute. Here's David Barker. He's just leaving the pit exit now as well. He's 12th in class. Nicholas Laubish, what can you say about this? It's been an absolute dominating performance for Nicholas Laubish here. He's been absolutely on it, got away at the start, did exactly what he needed to at the start of this race, and has just got away. Action here coming up towards the hairpin. Side-by-side action coming in. The move done nice and clean. Couple of Porsches. As Ash now comes into the pit lane, as does Partonen, P2 in that AM class. There's Magnus Scherkeke, black Porsche, behind the two in front, Mullick and Beltran. Been a great race since it's calmed down. Lot of action happening here. Stephen Ash is out the pits. Gabriel Erdley has gone through. So good pit stop there. In fact, what was Stephen Ash's pit stop? It was a bit quicker than Gabriel's as well. So just a little behind maybe before the pit stop. So Gabriel able to pump in some better lap times. Borges Arzo's on pit exit now. Down in P7. But comes back up to P6 due to passing Bamber in that pit lane as he exits it then. Doing all right so far is Borges Arzo, on for a good bit of points here. Here is David Mullick then, P9 at the moment. So a few drivers still to pit left in this race. Obviously the mandatory pit stops are going to happen thick and fast around this stage of the race. It is around that 27 to 37 sort of mark you're going to pit. Nicholas Laubish is in the pits now himself. So your race leader has decided to pull the trigger and pit. And that possibly will cause a chain reaction here as Urbizu is in as well, as is Mendes. Rosseth comes into the pit lane. Verhoeven comes in. Yeah, there's the chain reaction. So it's around this time of the race where the drivers have all got to pit and make that mandatory stop to add the fuel because the tank isn't running at 100% capacity. De Merbas now in from 5th in class. And already, look, Nicholas Laubish in, out. Thank you for servicing the car. 18.3 seconds, nearly a whole second quicker than Gabriel in the pits. But this has promoted Gabriel. That earlier pit stop has promoted Gabriel up into 2nd place. So a great strategy call from the man from the United Kingdom. That is fantastic for him. Eno Verhoeven, he also comes out the pits. He keeps his lead. What was his pit stop over Partonen? Again, near enough a second quicker in the pit stops, and that is fantastic for Partonen and for Verhoeven. If you're to make this not, you know, are they part of the same team? No, not part of the same team, but a finish 1-2 in the AM category would be absolutely fantastic for them. Lucas Prada, P3 in class, right on the rear of Erdalai then. The driver from Czechia. He's got Ash right behind him as well, the youngster from, no, Ash isn't the youngster from America, it's the other American driver. Dragotta is the youngster. Ash, though, P4, he's not a million miles off the back of this. He's about half second off the back of this battle. So this is a battle that if this... Oh, dropping a wheel in the gravel there was Gabriel. There is Ash, look. And the best thing is, these three are not going to want to make contact with each other. They all drive for the WSR Esports butt kicker team. So they've probably raced with each other plenty of times. They're now going to want to take it on to the main stage here at Racing Unleashed and show what they can do. Gabriel as well is doing all right in the championship, so that's going to be one to keep an eye on with him and see what he can do. So Gabriel, the first car from Prada, from Ash. And is Alex, who is P5. Lamborghini, Ferrari, 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 Lamborghini, Ferrari, Ford Mustang. Francisco Lopez, P4, as Beltran comes into the pits for his stop in the AM category. Francisco Lopez on the back of the Mercedes of Nathan Alul. The sole Mercedes on the grid. What can Lopez in his Lamborghini do about it? He's not close enough to do anything at the moment. You get the feeling he's just starting to chip away here. 37 minutes gone. Coming into that final 20 minutes. This is where the racing is going to start to get interesting. Ivan Rodrigo coming through turn 1 on the back of Close, having a look up the inside. Managing to brake early, took back in and not make it an instant going into turn 2 then. You've just joined us, you've missed a dramatic start to this race. It was full of action and full of drama. Here is Luca Close then, towards the hairpin. Having a look is Rodrigo there in the background, but again, just a look, nothing more than that. Does the door open on the exit of the hairpin? No, not quite. Little closer, and he may have just snuck that nose up the inside. Now he's going to have a look. No, thinks better of it again. Still playing that patient game, and this is great driving. This is what we want to see, that patient game from both these drivers being played out here. Rodrigo getting perilously close to the back of the car. You kind of sense that Rodrigo's going to pounce here, but it's when and where. Because where he's been able to have a look at the moment, he's not been close enough. And you just see he's not got the run out the final corner there to just carry that momentum down the start straight into turn 1. So for Rodrigo, he's got to go again next time around. This is probably a chance, so use that slipstream. Follow him down this next part of the circuit towards the hairpin. Get as close as you possibly can. Just stick in that slipstream. How close is he going to get? Let's see. Slowly pulling him in, slowly, slowly. Doesn't get close enough. Pulls out to have a look, but in all fairness, Close is probably not falling for that trick because he's so far back, you just know you're not going to make that move there. Without either missing the corner or causing an incident. Here is Nathan Alul then in the Mercedes. Virtual reality headset on for Nathan as well, so getting the full experience. Through turn 1 in his Mercedes AMG GT3 car. P3 at the moment as Caserta's back into the pit lane. Will be for a second pit stop for himself. Laubish now, though, the gap is 6.9. That gap for second still pretty close between Erdalai, Prada and Ash in that pro category. Here is Matthias Karjalainen. P10 in the pro category. On the back of the 14th place Amcar. Ad Croc says on the side of that car there. I'm not seeing things. Liking the pink though. Having a look inside at the hairpin. Up he goes on the brakes, hits the apex, maybe just runs a little deep on the exit, and look at that. That's going to allow Lindmo to come back up the inside. He's there somewhere. There he is. And is this now what Karjalainen will need up the inside? It's turn 8. Bounces off the sausage curb, but through he goes. A fight really that Lindmo doesn't need to have, with Sanchez also breathing down his neck. In the separate car category, the only man, by the way, to be lapping in the 1 minute 37s is your race leader, Nicholas Laubish, with a 37.738. That is the fastest lap of this race. On Pablo Sanchez then, through he comes. On the back of Lindmo, just in front for a possibly 14th place in the AM category. And you just feel this could be the calm before the storm here at the end of this one, where it could all heat up again in the dying moments of this game. Ivan Rodrigo still having a look on the back of Close. And now they've got Beltran for company as well. So 2 Ferraris and a Porsche here in the AM category. And the Porsche of Beltran is right under the rear wing of Rodrigo. Is he going to pull out and think of a lunge up the inside? Pulls out, has a look, later on the brakes, up the inside he goes. Is this going to work? Manages to get it stopped on the apex. How good's the exit? And for Beltran there, that is an absolutely belting move. Great job from about half a car length back. He's managed to get the job done, stopped it on the apex, no contact with the car in front. And Close now could just breathe a sigh of relief, because while these two are starting to battle a little bit, he can start to break away from these two. Just a small amount you see already that he's been able to gap. He's had a twitch and a bit of a wiggle though through there. That'll cost him a bit of time. Beltran here in this Porsche is just doing exactly what he needs to do late on in this race. This is for 12th place in that AM category as well, let's not forget. But points mean prizes at the end of the day, and you've got to be in it to win it. Beltran's already dropped ahead of, away from Rodrigo just a little bit here, and has got Close on the back of him. Sorry, he's getting onto the back of Close. About 15.5 minutes left of this race. This has been a fantastic, action-packed night's worth of racing. And Beltran here, I tell you what, he's got good pace in that Porsche. He's allowed Close to just get away momentarily. And has also, sorry, he's dropped Rodrigo momentarily, but has gained on Close massively. Sanchez has got past Lindmo for 14th and 15th in the Pro class. Here comes Beltran again. He's under the rear wing now of Close. Close already goes defensive into the hairpin corner. Beltran to the outside. Is he going to try and get the switch back here? Not able to, because Close gets it parked on the apex. This could bring Rodrigo back into play. It doesn't at the moment. Great driving, though, from these three. Very respectful. And really, really good racing between the three of them. This is a battle for P2 in category. Gabriel Eldelai then still ahead of Prada and Ash at this moment in time. It's interesting to see what he's able to do in this race. They don't seem to be attacking each other much, and well, why would you? You're all a part of the same esports team, so why would you attack each other too much? This is Pierre Herbizou then, down in P6 for Delatraz Automotive, on the back of Alex, just in front. Braking hard down a couple of gears into the stadium section. They go again. 46.5 minutes gone. And you can just feel the atmosphere starting to get tense, because all these battles that are raging on, you get the feeling these drivers are going to start to fight for these positions harder as this race goes on and on. Through turn 2 we go. So we've lost several drivers in this race. Probably no real surprise. Tunstall 3 laps down. I don't believe he's still out there. Alessandro Torchio, he's out of the race. Samir Ashad is out. Marcus Valverde. Juan Carlos is also out. Jan Duffner. Mika Vahamaki. Kari Kortelainen, David Verthrich, Mirko Fincato, Petri Lepere and Jan Serrani, all out of the race. And really, well, like we said, if you've missed the start, well, absolute chaos. A few drivers coming back into the pit lane. Now, I can only assume that these are drivers that pitted early with damage, that are running out of fuel and have got to pit. So this is costing them massively here. And this battle still rages on. And Ivan Rodrigo now is gaining closer to the back of the Porsche of Beltran, who's looking up the inside of Close through turn 2. Beyond the outside line for turn 3. He's got the move done, though. Close comes back at him. They're side by side now as they're going to go full throttle. And Rodrigo's just going to take a front row seat and watch the action unfold here into the hairpin corner and down the second real main straight at the Hockenheimring. Rodrigo looks to the inside. He's never going to think of doing it on the pair of them. Brakes, manages to get it stopped. These two are still side by side. Close gets the poorer run out the hairpin corner. Great move, though, from Beltran. Real good driving from these three. And Close drops to 12th. Beltran moves up to 11th. And oh, this is a sending maneuver up the inside, and Rodrigo makes contact with Close, and more contact from the Porsche. And really silly there from Rodrigo. He didn't need to make that move. He dove into a gap that was always going to Close. And Caserta moves up to 15th place in category, ahead of Carbonari, who picked up front-end damage by hitting the Ferrari of Rodrigo there. And that's put Rodrigo in the clutches of Mullick and Bretones and Camillo in the background. Oh, and you feel for Carbonari. Was in the wrong place, and he's had to go into the pits with that front-end damage. Here is your leader in arm, Ian Overhaven, and then he's got 5.9 seconds to Partonen in P2. So a real good race. We speak about Laubischer's race and the job he's done. This man's done as good a job as him in terms of leading in your category. Dear, oh dear. And we've seen a lot of that today. We've seen a lot of that kind of driving today. Careless and reckless and silly at times. Didn't need to make that move, but he did. Either way, we move on. We move on. The stewards will look at that one. What a shame. Alvaro here then. Currently in P5. In that yellow and orange Porsche. Lovely colour scheme, that. Just on the back of Sinan de Merbas, but that's obviously not who he's racing. If you look at who he is racing, he's a further 4 seconds up the road. That is Nathan Alulu, who lost out to Francisco Lopez. There is Nathan in his Mercedes. Virtual reality. Tried it once, never again. Glasses steam up. Can't really see when they steam up. But fair play to Nathan for doing the hour-long race here. On the virtual reality headset, that is absolutely brilliant to see. Lulu, P4 in class, just behind Lopez. Lopez is on the back of, I presume, a back marker there, because he's not close enough to Partonen. Lopez had a good drive as well. He's up, he's down 2 places, but got in the wars a little bit, so he's had a good comeback drive. And the Soul Mercedes doing a great job. Doing a great job at the moment. Here's David Mullick, P14 in class. In the AM category as well. The German driver trying to get on the back of Ivan Rodrigo after that mistake he'd made. And Rodrigo, you know, Caserta's got past Close here, so Rodrigo will be looking to chase down Close. He's also taken Bretones with him in that orange and black Ferrari just behind. So a couple of cars coming along for the ride here. As we've got what? We've got just over 7 minutes left in this race. Juan Pablo Sanchez is in the pits from 14th place in class. Oh, it no longer says he's in the pits, so I'm not sure what happened there. Here is Matteo Carbonari on the back of the only BMW M4. 17th in class, it's Mossa who is just in front of him. He's 20th in the AM class. Shame for Matteo today, 17th in class. Couple of pit stops to his name, caught up in a few incidents. Been in the pits twice. His last pit stop was 3.5 seconds. That shows you how much fuel he needed to put on board there. But he's being hunted down by the Mustang, who is lapping Matteo Carbonari. So I'm surprised he's not moving out the way. He'll be getting the blue flags. Looks like he's pulled out the way now. And that is the Ford Mustang of Rosseth in P7. Now Carbonari through troubles. He's getting a flash of the lights from the Ferrari behind him, and he moves straight out his way. I can only assume yet another back marker. Yet another leader, should I say. Sinan de Merbas, 9th in the pro category. Good race for Sinan. Wearing his Racing Unleashed t-shirt there, you see. The biggest question is, if you've been watching Race Unleashed and the Assetto Corsa streams, has he got his gardening gloves on? That's the gloves he wears in the simulators in the Racing Lounge in Munich. Does he wear them at home? Sinan doing a terrific job. P9 in class. He has got Alvaro behind him, but that is an AM driver. David Baker is, though, the car behind Alvaro. So while ever David's there and they're fighting for position, we're fine. For Alvaro, though, he doesn't want Borja Zorzo to get past David Baker, because that's for their position, for a top 5 in their category, in the AM category as well. So good points in store for that. There is Borja on the back of this little train, who, if you wonder why he's talking so much, streams live to Twitch. So this will be broadcast out on Twitch. And testament to drivers who can do so much communicating while streaming. I know a lot of drivers like to be in the zone and, you know, enjoy streaming their footage for you guys to watch, but a lot of drivers like racing in the zone. Borja Zorzo likes to engage. You see that a lot. I think this is brilliant to see. Haven't seen him win a race on the Racing Unleashed platform since the prologue back in March last year, April last year. As Sinan de Merbas just hanging on in there over Alvaro at the moment, who him and David Baker behind went a little deep, so that's going to allow de Merbas a bit of breathing space here. Just a little bit as we enter the final 3.5 minutes of this race. Sinan de Merbas versus David Baker, who's 2 cars back. That is for 9th and 10th in class. And you've got the yellow Porsche and the blue Porsche of Alvaro and Borja Zorzo. That is for 5th and 6th in the AM category. This one of the closest fights on the circuit at the moment, coming into these dying moments of the race. It's been a great day of action. Plenty of drama, plenty of overtakes, so plenty of great racing and great battles. Looking forward to the next one already in 2 weeks' time. Pre-qualifying will be going out in a week on Monday, so make sure you get ready for the pre-qualifying. Your chance to get onto the grid, whether you be AM or Pro. To be a Pro, you've got to have an I rating over 4,500. AM is less than 4,500. Simple as that. Free sign. Just go to apexracingleague.com. You'll be able to find the sign-ups there for Racing Unleashed entry. Free entry fee. Get a prize money at the end of the season if you finish inside the top 5 in the championship. So worth getting involved in, worth having a little dabble if you fancy just coming along and trying your hand at something. That is Gustavo Mendes off the circuit at the stadium section. Doesn't look to have any damage on the car. Doesn't look like there was another car involved. And is about 10 seconds up the road from Sinan de Merbas, so I don't think has lost anything. What he has lost is he was a 1.5 seconds behind Eric Rosseth in the Ford Mustang for P7, so he has lost that chance of a top 7 as Mendes, which is a shame for him. But that is racing. Race leader Laubish. Where is he on the circuit? Because he'll be coming round shortly. In fact, he's coming round, yeah, he's at middle sector. So he's coming round momentarily to start the final lap of this race in what has been a dominant display. Likes to flag. Fantastic drive from this man. I can't even call it cautious. It's just been calm. Cool, calm and collected from the German driver Nicolas Laubish. Brilliant, brilliant drive, to be fair, as well. Sinan de Merbasso still hanging on in that fight over Alvaro, David Baker and Borges Orzo. And obviously he's only in a fight really with David Baker. Alvaro's in a fight with Borges Orzo, so that's an interesting one to keep our eyes on. But we're on the final lap of this race, and Nicholas Laubish will enter turn 2 with 10 seconds left on the clock. We know it's the final lap. But Alvaro has got 1 lap to not make any mistakes, not get involved in an incident with David Baker or Sinan de Merbas, to not allow Borges Orzo to take 5th in the AM category. They all start their final lap now. What a day of racing this has been. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time as well to bring you the 4th round of the championship. It'll be a fantastic bit of racing. This is Laubish. Got to be at the end of his lap here. He's got to be close to taking that checkered flag in what has been such a fantastic drive. This, though, is the fight. He's entering the stadium section now, look, just about to lap another driver. Comes into the final corner now. Nicholas Laubish is going to be the round 3 winner. Great drive from the young German. Lights to flag, fantastic victory for him. Really well done. It's going to be Gabriel to take home P2 in the pro category, and Lucas Prada to take home P3. We then turn now to the AM category, and it is Eno Verhavenen who is going to win the AM category in this 3rd round. Great drive. Alexi will take 2nd place. Partonen with a great drive there. And P3 is going to go the way of Francisco Lopez. Absolutely fantastic drive from everybody as well. Flash of the lights there from the Mercedes driver, that of Nathan Alulu. Really good. Borges also got P6 in the end. He hung on. Sinan de Merbas hung on for his P9. Here is Adrian Herrera. Beltran here for 11th place. Can he maybe get ahead of Pedera just at his final corner? Pedera's going to need to make a big mistake now. It's not going to happen, though. They're going to come to line for 10th and 11th in class. Sanchez just in front of them for P14. Caserta P15. A great fight here between 13th and 12th. Mullick and Close. Mullick just not going to be able to get him. 13th place for him, 12th place for Close. And that was dramatic. Brilliant, fantastic, great racing throughout. Obviously, race control very, very busy with a few things to look at in that race. But what a race it was. It was all drama at the beginning, and then it was brilliant racing at the end. You can just see over my shoulder here some of the incidents from earlier on in the race. Really, really crazy stuff. But nonetheless, Nicholas Laubish lights to flag. What a drive from the young man. Absolutely fantastic. Lights to flag, controlled the race. There's the final classification. Nicholas Laubish, Gabriel Erdalai and Lucas Prada, P3 is top 3 in the pro category. The top 3 in AM was Eno Verhavenen, Alexi Partonen and Francisco Lopez was your top 3 in AM. And it was a really mixed bag of results here. We saw back at the Nürburgring when I was here a month ago that the pros was really at the front and the AMs mixed it with a couple. Here tonight we just saw what happened. You see at the bottom end of the field there, look, you know, from Alessandro Torchio down, 21 laps down. Arshad in there, Valverde, Duffner. A lot of them drivers, huge damage due to incidents at the beginning of this race and throughout. Valverde was actually his own spin into the wall that cost him a lot of time and effectively ruined his race. But it was images like this over my shoulder. Look at this one. The 3 wide just gets pinched and it just causes 4 cars off. And I believe if we look back throughout the race of this, that was actually Francisco Lopez involved in that instance. And the fact he's been able to come back through the field, take a P3 in the AM category is absolutely fantastic for him. Just absolute dramas. We can though speak with a few drivers here. We have got I know in the commentary box with us, and I know P1 in the AM category, a pretty easy race for yourself, but the start was a bit dramatic.
Yeah, the start was a bit crazy, but it helped me quite a lot because I saw that the driver from behind was coming aggressively, so I just let him go, and I got a bit lucky because he took out Francisco, so I didn't really have to race anybody, so it was just about managing after that.
And you was racing sort of in that group with the pro drivers, which meant that, like you say, you could control your race and not race too hard with them and lose time over second place and lose championship points.
Yeah, I took it very easy with the pros. I didn't even have to fight with anybody, I don't think. So I was just trying to save fuel and manage the pace, and I let a pro driver pass at one point and just went to the toe and saved more fuel.
Saved more fuel. Did you enjoy the Hockenheimring today?
Yeah, I liked the track very much. The race was maybe a bit boring because I didn't have to completely push like in the last race, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Well, thank you for joining us in the commentary box. Congratulations on the AM win today. We'll hope to see you in round 4.
Thank you, and thanks to my parents and my team and everybody who was watching.
Indeed, congratulations, I know. They're on the AM race win. And we can speak with Alexei now, who was P2 in the AM category today. And Alexei, I suppose a similar question. Great to be on the podium, but a very, very dramatic start from where you started.
Yeah, it was a lot of was happening, and I just communicated with my team that there's a wreck and whole first lap.
You managed to get into a position, though, where you was racing against the pro drivers, which meant you could not really have to push too hard and ruin your race against drivers that was not really in your battle.
Yeah, it was. I just drove my own race almost the entire duration, so I looked all the time at the relative to see where Eino is, but there was no chance, and my pace was enough to secure the P2, so I'm happy with the pace and result.
Yeah, happy with the pace and the result. And it's good for the championship points as well, isn't it? With now 7 rounds left in this championship, it really does you the world of good having a second place points.
Yeah, for sure. After the last round, it was kind of disappointing for me, but now good bounce back, so it is good to move forward.
Indeed. Well, Alexei, enjoy the P2. Congratulations on that one. We'll see you next time.
Yes, thank you.
P2 there in the AM category. And we can now speak with Francisco Lopez as well, who, if I'm correct, had a bit of dramas at turn 1 at the opening lap of the race and has done really well to come back to get P3.
You are correct, sir. I was taken out by the same person that I was taken out by in the first race. I am very disappointed with the racers around me, but well, it was fun to do the comeback, a bit with anger, but it was nice.
Pulled off some really good moves to get through the field, to get onto the podium. Really good drive from yourself, like you say, a little bit in anger, but really good, clean, and brilliant overtakes.
Yeah, I think I didn't. I don't know if you saw the overtake to Nathan in the broadcast. Did you see it?
Don't think so.
Oh, that was the best one. You have to see it. Yeah, I was having fun with it. I was a bit angry too at a lot of pack markers that, for example, when I had already made my pit stop, they hadn't made theirs, but they defended like lions against me, even in the lap of their pit stop. And that costed me a lot of time and some damage in the car, which made the last stint very difficult for me. But, well, it is what it is. I wasn't going to win anyways after what happened in turn 1.
Not going to win, but you've got to be happy with the way you've came out with a podium in this race.
Yeah, very, very happy. Damage limitation, as they call it, right?
Yeah, indeed.
I also did my last race today with the G29, which has been a nightmare for me. Because as the race goes by, the grip increases, but the G29 doesn't tell me the grip is increasing. I only see that visually I can go faster into the corners, that the racing line is darker, but the wheel doesn't tell me. So it's a nightmare to evolve with the track.
Yeah.
Next race, after like 11 years in racing, I will have a direct drive steering wheel. So new Fran is going for the championship.
Well, we cannot wait to see what happens in round 4 in 2 weeks' time. Francisco, we'll let you go, but congratulations today, and look forward to seeing you with the direct drive in a couple of weeks' time.
Thank you a lot, mate. See you.
Very well done. See you later. Very well done. And I believe we can speak with a couple of the pro drivers, especially the overall race winner, Nicholas Laubish, then P1 today. Nicholas, the drama happened behind you. You just controlled what you was doing, didn't you?
Yeah, I just had a really good race. Like my qualifying was also pretty good, and then after I saw that I was 1 second in front of P2, I was just going for it and trying to break the draft so that I might have a chance to like drop them. And in the end, yeah, everything works pretty fine.
Just looking at the timing screens, lap after lap after lap, it was a couple of tenths. It wasn't big margins that you was pulling away, but it was a couple of tenths each and every lap. And that was enough for you to just control your pace and manage your race.
Yeah, exactly. I just saved some tires, saved some fuel, and just concentrated on not doing any mistakes because I knew with the pace I have, I could win this race just when I don't screw up. So yeah, I just drove the whole hour pretty safely, I would say. But in the end, I'm pretty surprised that I won by such a margin.
P1 in qualifying, P1 in the race, and fastest lap. Clean sweep for yourself. That must feel good going into round 4 in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, that really feels good. Like the first couple of races didn't really go well for me, but now having this finish now, that really feels good, and now gives me motivation again.
Nicholas, we'll let you go. Congratulations on the race win. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
I believe we can speak now with Gabriel for P2. Gabriel, P2 in this race. Great strategy to put you in second place, but just didn't have enough to catch Nicholas today.
Oh yeah, Nicholas was in the really fast car today, so he deserves the win. He was rapid, so yeah, we couldn't quite catch up to him, but we tried our best, and yeah, good race for him. Not
tried your best. Tried your best, but at the end of the day, it was points in that championship that matters.
Yeah, consistency is key. I'm going for the championship, so any points on the board is good points. So, second is first loser, but it's also quite a lot of points. So I'm very happy still. So
very happy, and it looked like at the end of the race, you was having a bit of fun with a few teammates in your esports team at the end there. It looked like you was having a good little battle with them.
Yeah, we were trying to be respectful, but we said we would be racing in the last few laps, but at the end of the day, it's really hard to overtake around here, so none of us really had a good opportunity. But yeah, there was no team orders at the end.
Great to hear. We go again, though, in 2 weeks' time. You gain more points on your championship, which is looking pretty good at the moment as well. What can we do next time out?
Yeah, Daytona, it's kind of a slipstream fest. It's a bit of the luck of the draw, 2 sprint races, a lot can go wrong, a lot can go right. So just hope to stay out of trouble and damage limitation in case anything goes wrong,
Yeah, indeed. Well, congratulations today on the P2. We'll let you enjoy that one and hopefully see you next time.
Thank you very much.
So that was Gabriel there. We can speak now with Lucas Prada, who finished P3 out there, and it was a good race for Lucas as well. Again, the strategy through the pit stops managed to get you up a couple of places, Lucas, and that was what you managed to achieve.
Yeah, it was a decent race. Definitely couldn't keep up with Nicholas at the first few laps. I tried, but definitely didn't have the same pace. So kind of took it easy then, and yeah, then made a little mistake on my outlap, which meant that Gabe got in front of me, and after that it was pretty much cruising till the end, making sure I don't make any more mistakes, and yeah, picking up P3 is I think a decent result.
Now, Gabriel's just said that there was no team orders, free to fight. Was you enjoying the fact that he was having a little battle with two of your teammates?
Yeah, I said we would wait for a bit because we also had quite a few incidents. But yeah, we said we were free to race in the end, and unfortunately I didn't have much tires left to really try anything on Gabe. And also, as I said, I was making sure I wasn't going to do any mistakes and keep the third position. So yeah, it was a fun in the end, but yeah, we didn't have the pace we should have had.
We go into Daytona in 2 weeks' time. Obviously, the pre-qualification will open up in a week. If you're on that grid, do you look forward to Daytona, and what do you think you'll be able to achieve around there?
Definitely hoping for a better race. I think we will be better on pace compared to Hockenheim, so should be a good race. One of my favorite tracks. So yeah, hoping for a good result, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
See what happens, indeed. Lucas, congratulations on the P3 today. We'll let you enjoy that one, and hopefully see you in 2 weeks' time.
I guess, yeah.
And is your interviews of the top 6 drivers, the top 3 from each category of Pro and Am, in what has been a fantastic Hockenheim race here for round 3 of the Racing Unleashed GT3 iRacing series. Round 4 is right around the corner in 2 weeks' time. The pre-qualifying will open in 1 week tomorrow. If you want to take part in that pre-qualifying, you have to sign up on apexracingleague.com. And go there, do all the sign-ups, go through the Discord and make sure you're all involved in that. Set your pre-qualifying time, which is just 1 hot lap. And if you're inside the top 30 in either the Pro or the Am category, you will probably be on that grid for Daytona. Again, it is an I rating of 4,500 or greater for Pro. It is an I rating of 4,500 or less for Am. Meaning that if you are on that grid, you've got a chance of winning some prize money at the end of the season. There is 2 drop rounds, so don't worry, you've not missed too much at the moment, but round 4 is going to be an exciting one. Daytona Road Course, famous for that slipstream on the oval part of the circuit. We cannot wait to get going in 2 weeks' time. But for now, that's all we have time for. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.